Good evening, humans. Tyrannosaurusmoth here, and tonight we're taking a look at the Savage Crucible Nin Vilimir figure from Harvinger Studios. Let's do this. Aesthetically speaking, this figure looks spectacular, and really there's a whole lot of love that went into this. You can feel it. Just everything here is just beautifully done. I mean, sculpt-wise, just there's so much going on. If you just look at kind of the base body, you see all of these scales and just everything is there. Just like it's not like they kind of like held back and there was like parts that weren't sculpted. It's all over the place. It's beautiful. I love that part of this. Not only that, but the paint itself is like, you know, this very nice shade of kind of grayish green. And then you have that dry brush over the entire thing that really brings it out. You get those black stripes kind of here and there. And yeah, just beautifully done. I absolutely love it. Then you get to the armor itself, and you get this really nice, what was in the renders, kind of a more like vivid purple, but it is still purple, just not, it's not apparent, I guess, in certain lights and stuff like that. It's very subtle, and that's kind of beautiful. And I love that they added this kind of rust effect to a lot of the points. Just gives it this kind of aged look that I don't think a lot of figure lines have done. It's a really nice touch. So beautiful there. We get this nice gold here on a couple places, a really nice rich gold for the bands. Just nice stuff. Great sculpt here, especially with belt buckle. You see that kind of like snake face. And yeah, just really nice, especially seeing it reflecting on my ring light here. It just makes it just kind of these metallics pop even more. Then we get to that head sculpt, and I mean, this was the figure I was absolutely getting, like, no matter what. This is the baseline. Like, I have to get that one because this basically looks like they, you know, took a T-Rex and, you know, told the artist, well, envision a T-Rex in the Dark Crystal universe, and that's pretty much what this head sculpt looks like. It's beautiful. Absolutely love it. It's got just the right exaggeration, and you know, we got paint all the way in the mouth as well. So just pretty much just gorgeous. You know, rice piercing yellow eyes, just good stuff all around. So really aesthetically, this is just a fantastic looking figure. For accessories, well, what we have here isn't abundant. It is definitely quality. So let's jump in, and first talking about hands, we do get a pair of gripping hands right out of the box. And that those both have vertical hinges, so that makes me very happy. Then we get to a couple of relaxed, kind of clawing hands, and again, just like with the rest of the figure, we still get that nice dry brush that kind of brings out all that sculpt. Just you really get to just really appreciate that with the way that they approach the paint on this figure, and this is kind of one of those instances where I think you can really hone in on that. So that is just excellent. Again, kudos to this entire team. Then we get a couple of weapons. So we get a dagger here, beautifully painted again, gorgeous sculpt. We get some really nice metallic silvers and golds, and they even put some metallic on the handle there. Again, that kind of very subtle lavender purple kind of coming through with that, and bring out literally every just millimeter of the sculpt. No different when it comes to the sword, this huge scimitar style sword, but this insane curve and nicks and dents and just tons of sculpt. Again, love, attention, just absolutely there. And then again, we get that lavender purple kind of coming into the handle, a very serpentine sort of look. We get the snake head here at the end of it in gold. Just very nice stuff, and beautiful attention to detail. And there's a whole bunch of lore here. I feel bad for not actually delving into that in this review. That's not really my thing. So I encourage you, certainly if you pre-order these, if you're getting one of these, read the package. There's stuff everywhere. And then finally, we get this little flask of some sort of just mystical liquid. You can see there's kind of a green that kind of ombres into the yellow. Then some nice brilliant gold, this just a little bit of matte blue here in the middle. So some really nice pop to that, and you can see its peg on the back, and that goes into the side of the armor. There are these pieces right here. You do have to warm it up to get it in there, but they did allow, it's not just a hole, but a hole with a couple of slits in the side, so there's definitely a little more opportunity to make that work. So yeah, that will do it for accessories. When it comes to articulation, this is a bit more of a mixed bag than I wanted it to be. I think in engineering and theory, it is absolutely exquisite. In application, it leaves me wanting, and we're gonna get into that. First thing we're gonna notice is no freestanding kicks, and that is because of my least favorite part here, and that's the foundation, honestly. So we're gonna go head to tail as we generally do. But you know, a lot of incredible stuff going on here. Like the head is on this barbell joint, neck's actually like angled forward. I thought that was going to be a hindrance, but it's not. We get some beautiful up, we get some just fantastic down and tilt. We get side to side. I mean, the head goes anywhere you want it to go. That is completely beautiful. We get jaw articulation and a wide range of that as well, fully closed. Opens just as much as you would want it to. That is completely beautiful. We get butterfly joints here, which only go forward. I guess we get a tiny bit of back, but it's mostly forward, and we do get some nice forward at that, and that's going to allow for some nice double-handed sword poses. We are hinge and swivel here at the shoulders. The shoulder armor gets out of the way as well, so we can still hit a perfect T. That armor is actually on a ball joint. Again, beautiful, beautiful engineering there going on. This great thinking outside the box. We do get some bicep rotation. We do get double jointed elbows, which we're only getting to there. That part of that is because these gauntlets. I think the base figures without all of this is probably going to get you a little bit more range. We get rotation there at the front part of the elbow. We also get it at the bottom part of the elbow. That's awesome. For our wrists, we do get hinge, so we get vertical for our grips. We get horizontal, pardon me, for the others. We get rotation, of course. And we get a ball joint here at the diaphragm, ball joint at the waist. So incredible amounts of crunch, like the insane range, just incredible arch back as well. Great side to side. You do get a little bit of gappage if you go back, so just be aware of that, but still, just the range is absolutely unmatched. And we get rotation all around as well. For the legs, we're coming out pretty much full splits. Beautiful. We do get thigh rotation. You can see that joint right in there. Double jointed knees bring us to there. Some pretty heavy detents in here too, which is very, very good. We also, just like the elbows, we get some rotation at the top of the knee. We get it at the bottom of the knee. So that's kind of your boot cut. Then we get here, and we get fantastic range, perfect point, incredible amounts of forward. We get rocker. My problem is that these are very weak ankles, unfortunately, and I applied so much joint fix to these to kind of get them to stand, and it's actually hard to get it in just a neutral standing position. Like over time, it just kind of wears, and there are very heavy detents in the knees, which is a great start, and that should be there, especially with all the armor. Like it definitely gets a little bit top heavy, but with the ankles just don't bear the rest of the weight, and that's been a problem for me. Then we get to the toes. We do get toe articulation, so you can actually have them up here if you want, which is awesome. These are also kind of loose, but again, can't bear the weight. So unfortunately, the foundation of the entire figure just isn't there, and that disappoints me. I feel so bad saying that. There's so much love that goes in this figure. There's so much good stuff going on here, and it doesn't ruin it. I will still try and like kind of get that a little bit tighter, but it needs to be dialed in a little bit more, I think, for it to be really like display worthy. And then finally we do get the tail, and I love this engineering for the tail. We get a hinge and swivel at the base, and then ball joint, ball joint, ball joint, and they all beautifully hide that articulation. Like they go everywhere. That's awesome. I love that. So yeah, some incredible stuff. Just brought down a little bit, pardon me, for me by those ankles. Getting into size comparisons, here he is with some other anthropomorphic saurians and reptilians, with some domestics, with some imports, with some monsters. Finally, with an articulated icons Oni and yours truly in human form as a Valverse Action Force figure. So my final thoughts on the Savage Crucible Nin Vilimir figure from Harvinger Studios is that this is a crazy good figure with an unbelievable amount of passion poured into it from all angles, from the sculpt to the paint, to the backstory, to the accessories, just everything. You know, there's so much going on here, and I have so much love for Harvinger Studios and what they're doing here. It just pains me. Again, I had a lot to say in the articulation about the ankles and the feet and the toes particularly, just because, again, it kind of makes it hard to stand, but like all of that put against the weight of like literally everything else is kind of a non-issue. I think this is something that is something I think they're going to dial in, and I want to see that because, man, this figure is fun. There's so much good stuff going on, and something I didn't even mention in the accessories. Well, I'm glad I actually saw the post today before I recorded this video. If in the packaging behind the map, which is the backing of the actual like carded the blister with the figure in it, they have included some foil, and that actually has a like playing card here with like, I just knocked him down, with stats and stuff like that. Like there's a whole RPG like tabletop game aspect to this entire thing. So this goes deep. Oh wow, he dropped his vial here. But yeah, there's so much going on here. Again, this is ambitious to say the very least, and I respect the hell out of it. And they start off with reptilians. Like I can't not throw a whole like ton of love at that. So yeah, fully recommended. So it is, the Kickstarter is over. They're not available as of me recording this video, and probably by the time these will go up. However, once all the pre-orders, all the Kickstarter orders, etc. have been delivered, I think they're going to have the extra stock that any company will order go up on their website. So I will have a link to Savage Crucible's website in the description below. Please check that out. Follow them on all of their socials. Like, again, just a whole lot of love going into this. And despite my one admittedly minor issue here, it's just a sticking point because I'm just like overthinking it. Yeah, I cannot recommend it enough. Support independent studios, support independent toy makers. Like, there's just so much good stuff going on, and I think the Harvinger Studios crew absolutely embodies that. So yeah, hope you found this review informative and somewhat entertaining, and if you did, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, etc., all that good stuff. I do multiple reviews a week of action figures related to tokusatsu, dinosaurs, monsters, pro wrestling, and more. A couple of those are included like here, obviously. So if any of that appeals to you, come on back. Let's talk some beautiful plastic and just escape the world for a while. But at the end of the day, I just hope you're well, hope that all your toy dreams come true, and most importantly, hope that you and yours stay weird, simians.